Why your brain confuses familiar pain with love. Love is supposed to feel good, safe, warm, supportive. So why does it sometimes feel anxious? Why does calm feel boring, while emotional intensity feels meaningful? Why do you miss people who hurt you, but feel disconnected from people who treat you well? The answer isn't that you're broken. It's that your brain learned a very specific lesson early on, and it never forgot it. Your brain does not define love by what feels healthy. It defines love by what feels familiar. That difference explains more about relationships than most people realize. As a child, you didn't learn love through words. You learned it through experience, through patterns, through how people showed up, how they disappeared, how they reacted when you needed something. Your nervous system was paying attention long before your mind understood what was happening. If love was consistent, your brain learned safety. If love was unpredictable, your brain learned vigilance. If love came with criticism, your brain learned to earn it. If love came and went, your brain learned to chase it. None of this was a choice. It was adaptation. Your brain was learning what love felt like, not what love should be. This is where confusion begins. Because the brain doesn't seek happiness, it seeks recognition. It asks one question over and over. Have I been here before? If the answer is yes, your nervous system relaxes. Even if the place hurts, even if the outcome is painful, familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. This is why some people feel uneasy in healthy relationships. There's no emotional spike, no tension to manage, no unpredictability, and without realizing it, their body feels bored, disconnected, or restless. Not because the relationship is wrong, but because the nervous system doesn't recognize calm as love. Your brain learned to associate love with certain sensations, anxiety, anticipation, relief after conflict, intensity followed by closeness. That emotional roller coaster releases dopamine, and dopamine doesn't mean pleasure. It means importance. So the brain starts to equate intensity with connection, chaos with chemistry, pain with passion. This is why people say things like, I know they're bad for me, but I feel something. Or, they hurt me, but I've never felt closer to anyone. That closeness isn't love. It's familiarity activating emotional memory. The brain doesn't remember love as an idea. It remembers love as a pattern, a rhythm, a cycle. And when it finds a similar pattern later in life, it lights up. This feels like home. Even if home wasn't safe, this is also why logic doesn't help. You can explain to yourself why a relationship is unhealthy. You can list the red flags. You can promise yourself not to go back. But when the familiar feeling returns, the body reacts first. The rational mind arrives later to justify what already happened. Love that is calm can feel empty at first. Not because it lacks depth, but because your nervous system isn't used to peace. It's used to activation. Silence feels suspicious. Stability feels unfamiliar. Predictability feels dull. So the brain searches for stimulation. It creates doubt. It romanticizes the past. It confuses longing with meaning. This is why people miss partners who made them feel anxious. They don't miss the pain. They miss the emotional intensity. And intensity feels like love to a brain trained on unpredictability. There's also a deeper layer. Familiar pain gives you a role: the fixer, the chaser, the one who waits, the one who hopes. Those roles feel purposeful. Healthy love often removes the struggle, and without struggle, the brain feels lost. Who am I if I'm not earning love? This is why change feels uncomfortable. Because choosing healthy love means grieving familiar pain. Not because the pain was good, but because it was known. Rewiring this doesn't happen through insight alone. Your nervous system has to experience a new definition of love, repeatedly, slowly. It has to learn that calm does not mean danger. Stability does not mean boredom. Consistency does not mean disconnection. At first, healthy love feels quiet, flat, almost underwhelming. That's not lack of chemistry. That's your nervous system adjusting. Think about how this shows up in real life. Someone doesn't text back right away. Your mind starts racing. Not because you're dramatic, but because your nervous system remembers waiting for attention, waiting for reassurance, waiting for affection that was inconsistent. That waiting created tension, and tension became familiar. So now, when uncertainty appears, your body reacts as if love is on the line. Another example. You meet someone emotionally steady. They communicate clearly. They don't disappear. They don't play games. And instead of relief, you feel uneasy. You tell yourself something is missing, that there's no spark. What's actually missing is anxiety. Your nervous system was trained to interpret anxiety as connection. Without it, things feel flat, not wrong, just unfamiliar. This is why some people leave healthy relationships to return to painful ones. Not because the pain was better, but because the body knew how to survive there. Familiar pain feels manageable. Unfamiliar peace feels risky. Because peace requires trust. And trust was not always rewarded. There is also grief in choosing healthy love. Grief for the version of love you hoped would change. Grief for the effort you invested. Grief for the belief that if you just loved harder, things would finally work. Letting go of familiar pain means accepting that it was never going to become safe, and that realization hurts. So the brain resists it. It romanticizes the past. It rewrites memories. It highlights the highs and minimizes the harm, not to trick you, but to keep you in known territory. This is why healing feels lonely at first, because chaos used to feel like connection, and calm feels quiet. But quiet is where your nervous system learns something new. That love does not need to hurt to be real. That consistency can feel warm. That safety does not mean boredom. Over time, something shifts. Your body stops bracing. Your thoughts slow down. You stop scanning for danger, and the old attraction to pain loses its pull. Not because you forced it away, but because it no longer feels like love. The urge to return to familiar pain usually peaks right before change. That's when the old pattern fights back. Not because it's right, but because it's losing control. Real love is not a spike. It's a baseline. It doesn't hijack your nervous system. It supports it. And once your body learns that safety can feel good, the confusion fades. Pain stops feeling like love, and love starts feeling like peace. You are not attracted to pain by accident. You were trained, and training can be undone, not by force, but by patience, by awareness, by choosing unfamiliar safety, until it becomes familiar.